Yo, what's going on, guys? Troy here, just hanging out at a football field tonight in Miami, Florida, and got a super interesting video for all the type 2 diabetics out there. I want to get into the strategy on how you eat to beat type 2 diabetes. So this is going to be really powerful. I'm going to give you the most powerful nutrition tips on strategies on foods that you should be consuming to reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes, help lower your guys' blood sugar levels, keep everything stable and under control, increase your insulin sensitivity. These are the most powerful tips that you can implement into your life right away and immediately see results. So let me dive into my first tip. Now, this is a little bit more outside the box than the other ones, and it's a little bit counterintuitive because when you think of diabetes, you think about carbohydrates, how carbohydrates are the worst things for your type 2 diabetic symptoms. But I want you to increase your carbohydrate consumption, but it has to be one of the 20 carbohydrates I'm going to dive into. So there are 20 carbohydrates. I call them type 2 diabetic superfoods. Now, the reason why these carbohydrates are so powerful for reversing the signs of type 2 diabetes is they're really nutrient dense and they're low in calories and they're relatively low glycemic. So carbohydrates are the most nutrient dense, fiber filled foods in the world. So these 20 carbohydrate sources, they're going to provide you with a ton of vitamins, a ton of minerals, a ton of antioxidants. They're going to help increase your insulin sensitivity. They're going to help keep you full. You're going to consume less calories. You guys are going to start to lose weight more efficiently. And overall, I will consider these type 2 diabetic superfoods. So let me dive into the top 20 carbohydrates that you need to be consuming on a regular basis as a type 2 diabetic. So make sure you write that down. Essentially, you want this to be your grocery store cheat sheet. You want to consume a bunch of these foods as often as you can, and it's been shown that diets high in complex, high fiber carbohydrates and low in fat have been clearly shown to produce the best results in terms of long-term glycemic control for people with pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes. So complex carbs, these are really high in fiber. They've been shown to significantly improve your insulin sensitivity. They're going to help moderate your body's glucose production, and most importantly, they're going to leave you more satiated and full after eating. They're going to help reduce the amount of calories your body absorbs from the food you eat. So they're going to help you stay thin. They're going to help you lose weight really efficiently. So you want to consume more of these type 2 diabetic carbohydrate superfoods and less dietary fat. Next up is daily consumption of vitamin C and magnesium. Now, people who are type 2 diabetics typically have deficiencies in vitamin C and magnesium. In fact, magnesium deficiency is one of the most common deficiencies in the Western world. So I just put up a little infographic of the top 10 foods that are highest in magnesium. So let me quick read these off to you. So you want to make sure you consume one of these foods every single day. Dark leafy greens, almonds, seeds such as pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, wild-caught fish such as cod and salmon, beans such as black beans, kidney beans, whole grains, avocados, Greek yogurt, bananas, and dark chocolate. So these are all foods that are really high in magnesium. These are going to help reverse this deficiency, help you guys with your type 2 diabetic symptoms. Another thing you can do is simply take a magnesium supplement before you go to bed. Magnesium is really good to take before you go to bed. It's relaxing. It's actually promoted as a sleep and vitality supplement. So for me, I'm always in the gym working out, so I take a supplement called ZMA, which is zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6, which actually combines and has a really synergistic effect, helps your body recover. So if you are working out and you're exercising regularly and you want a little added boost on top of getting magnesium, you want some workout recovery, you should take ZMA. And then vitamin C, fairly easy to get, but I don't want you guys to be reliant on just taking a vitamin C pill. I want you guys to get vitamin C in your diet. So citrus fruits are one of the best ways to get vitamin C. So I consume grapefruit a lot. I drink grapefruit juice. Sometimes we'll do orange juice, although being a type 2 diabetic, you want to stay away from orange juice. If I had to pick one or the other as a type 2 diabetic, I would definitely go with grapefruit juice just because it's lower glycemic. And one of the best things that you can do to get vitamin C as a type 2 diabetic is squeezing lemon and lime into your water. So these are citrus fruits that are really high in vitamin C, and they have hardly any impact on your blood sugar and on the glycemic index scale. So simply squeezing some lemon, some lime into your water every single day can be a really efficient way to get a natural vitamin C. Next up, such an incredibly powerful tip. I want you to remember the acronym PVW. This means protein, veggies, and water with every single meal. Now, protein, it's thermogenic. It has no glycemic index impact, so it's going to keep your blood sugar levels really stable and really low. Vegetables, we're talking about fibrous carbohydrates that are really nutrient dense. They have lots of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, and most importantly, they have a ton of fiber, so it's going to help fill you up. And then drinking water along with protein and vegetables, this is going to expand all the fiber in your stomach. It's going to keep you really full for long periods of time. So protein, veggies, water. Every single time you sit down to have a meal, you have protein and vegetables and water. You're not going to have room to eat a bunch of empty carbohydrates and a bunch of fat foods. You're going to have really low insulin levels, really low blood sugar levels because of all the fiber and the protein source. And then drinking water is going to make you even more full from all that fiber. Fiber is the most important thing you need to have at every single meal if you want to really reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes and start to increase your health, increase your energy levels, and increase your insulin sensitivity. So there's actually a study that showed that 50 grams of fiber every single day for 6 weeks lowered blood sugar levels by 10% for type 2 diabetics. So one easy trick is just make sure you have a serving or two of vegetables with every single meal. So if you eat 4 or 5 times a day, you have 1 cup of broccoli and a cup of different forms of vegetables, cauliflower, maybe you do green beans, asparagus, bell peppers, you got some whole grains in your diet. You should have absolutely no problem getting 50 grams of fiber in your body every single day, and then pairing it with a lean protein source such as a wild-caught fish or whole eggs, maybe do some egg whites. This is going to pay huge dividends to increasing your insulin sensitivity. It's going to help you drop weight. You're going to increase your overall health, not only for a type 2 diabetic, but for anyone. This is one of the best strategies that I could recommend as far as maximizing our energy levels and lowering our blood sugar levels. So PVW, I actually do this acronym because I do a lot of fitness work as well. I always say PVW equals 6, as in 6-pack abs, but PVW, the most important acronym that you need to remember every time you sit down and enjoy a meal. Next up, I want to talk about super fats. Now, although you should have a relatively low-fat diet, you still need fat in your diet. So you should have about 20 to 30% of your daily calories coming from dietary fat, but you need to make sure that less than 10% of your fat consumption is in the form of saturated fat. So I want you to load up on what I call super fats. Now, these are fats that are really high in omega-3 fatty acids, and they have a ton of other health-boosting properties. Not all of these are actually high in omega-3 fatty acids, but the ones that aren't have a ton of other health-boosting properties that are going to help you reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes and increase your insulin sensitivity. So I'm going to list 7 super fats. I want you guys to get the majority of your fat calories from these 7 super fats. So this is going to make sure that you have enough omega-3 fatty acids in your system. They're going to provide you a ton of other benefits, and when you consume these super fats with a carbohydrate source, it's going to slow down the digestion of this carbohydrate. Just because fat takes a while to digest, it slows down the absorption of the glucose in your blood. It's going to help keep your blood sugar stable, and then when you consume a super fat that has a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, you get a ton of other health boosting benefits. Diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids is one of your best defenses as a type 2 diabetic, one of the best things that you can do for your overall health. So let me dive right into my top 7 super fats for a type 2 diabetic. So getting into my super fat list, number 1, avocado. Avocado is super high in monounsaturated fats, one of the most nutrient dense foods in the world, going to help keep you full, keep the weight off. Walnuts have a really high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids. They have the highest concentration of omega-3s out of any nut. Coconut oil, it's considered an MCT, so it's going to be utilized by your body as an energy source instead of being stored as body fat. So if you guys have been cooking with coconut oil or with butter, any kind of cooking spray, I highly recommend you make the switch to coconut oil. Chia seeds, another plant-based omega-3 source, really high in dietary fiber, high in protein, high in omega-3s, going to help increase your insulin sensitivity, keep you full for long periods of time. Wild-caught salmon. Wild-caught salmon is really high in omega-3s, one of the best sources actually in the world of omega-3 fatty acids. Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are really high in zinc and selenium, 2 micro minerals that are really essential that you guys get enough of as a type 2 diabetic. They're minerals that many people are deficient in. And then also almonds. Almonds are really high in magnesium, one of the highest magnesium source foods. And like I referenced earlier, type 2 diabetics tend to have low magnesium levels. So you want to make sure that the majority of these you want to make sure the majority of your fat consumption is in the form of one of these super fats. Super fats also are going to reduce the inflammation in your body, which experts now know contributes to diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. So you want to consume 80 to 90% of your total fats from these super fats. You want to stay away from anything that says saturated fat on the food label, and you guys are going to have a ton of success with reversing the signs of type 2 diabetes. Next up, I want you to keep your insulin levels very low for the last 2 to 3 hours of the day. So that means consuming 0 carbohydrates. I want 100% of your calories to come from lean proteins and healthy fats. So why do we want to do this? Well, by keeping our insulin levels really low, we're going to maximize our HGH production when we enter our REM sleep cycle. So HGH is secreted from your pituitary gland when you enter the REM sleep cycle. And if you spike your insulin right before you go to bed, it actually shuts off your HGH production. So HGH and insulin, they cannot coexist in your body at high levels at the same time. So one of the best things that you can do is stick with slow release proteins such as eggs, such as cottage cheese, casein protein powder, and stick with healthy fats. So one of my favorite snacks, for instance, is just eating raw nuts such as almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews. These are going to keep your insulin levels really low, or sticking with a really lean source of protein such as eggs, wild-caught fish, grass-fed beef, or simply having casein protein or cottage cheese. This is going to maximize our HGH production. Now, human growth hormone is actually incredibly beneficial to maximize as a type 2 diabetic. This is going to help increase your insulin sensitivity. It's going to help you dramatically lose weight. So keeping your weight off is one of the most powerful things you can do as a type 2 diabetic. So the higher we can get our HGH levels, this has incredible anti-aging benefits. It's going to help keep your weight off. It's going to reverse the signs of type 2 diabetes by increasing your insulin sensitivity. So do your body a favor, do your weight a favor, and help keep those blood sugar levels low by keeping your insulin really, really low for the last 2 to 3 hours of the day. And you guys should notice a dramatic difference in your energy levels and your blood sugar levels and just overall how you feel. So those are my 5 strategies on how you can eat to beat type 2 diabetes. So I hope this video has been incredibly beneficial. Anyways, it's about my bedtime here in an hour, signing off from the football field here in downtown Miami. But hope you got a ton of value from this. Talk to you guys real soon.